Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. I've had many clients who, in essence, have said, the world doesn't see any use for me anymore, but I still have plenty to give. True, many employers prefer younger workers. On average, younger people are less expensive, more energetic, and more open to new ideas. That said, older workers have real, maybe more important pluses, and when my clients explain those to prospective employers, they're more often hired. Yes, the job search generally takes more effort and more time, but it can succeed. The following example embeds some effective tactics. I change irrelevant details to protect my client's anonymity. He had been the president of a brokerage firm, which got bought out by a larger one, and that made him expendable. His first reaction was anger, and he spluttered something like, "They could have found a place for me. They're just being ageist and racist and sexist." When he calmed down, he admitted that plenty of executives of his race, gender, and age are well employed. I asked whether in his next job he wanted to approach his job differently so that he became more termination resistant, resistant to being terminated. He admitted that he had relied too much on being a great networker, which brought in lots of business, but his quantitative skills weren't what they should have been, so he missed some significant problems in his brokerage. So he realized that even at age 64, he had something to learn, and he would take an appropriate online course, and he took one offered by the famed Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. Then we mapped out a strategy for his landing a job. But first, he needed reason to believe that even at 64, he didn't, even though being 64, he didn't quite have the energy or the memory or the tech savviness of a young'un. He brought what may be an even more important set of pluses, what I call the elder edges, and this is how I describe them. The first of the elder edges is experience. All those years in the workforce have taught you more than most young people have yet acquired. The second part of the elder edge is perspective. You've seen a lot, and so you're in a good position to decide what is and isn't worth stressing about. I'd imagine all that experience has also taught you that in the long run it is wise to make ethics primary. And finally, connections. Even if he didn't have a rich network, which he did, anyone who's been around for 60 plus years has what sociologist Mark Granovetter calls distant ties. The chances of one of your close friends having a good lead for you are small, but because you've had many more distant ties, the chances are greater that they'll get you something. So get systematic, make a list of everyone, current and past, near and far, who like you, and decide how you'll reach out to them, email, phone, or an invitation to get together. My client ended up deciding to make part of that effort to commit to having 2 in-person breakfasts a week with one of his connections, as appropriate, citing those elder edges. Dr. Mark Goulston, who today on YouTube discussed this topic with me, suggested sending a brief YouTube video to even distant ties, saying something like, "You popped into my head, and I recall the time we hung out until 3 in the morning, and I'm wondering how you're doing." What happened? Well, within a month after completing that online course in finance, it was his breakfasts that paid off. He ended up getting hired by the president of a small but prestigious food manufacturer to modernize their finance system and supervise its implementation. Now, that job has pluses and minuses compared with being a brokerage president, but he is grateful to have landed a good and remunerative job at age 64. The takeaway? Even when a batter has 2 strikes against him, he can hit a home run. By not jumping to an ism explanation, and instead upping a skill set or attitude and stressing the elder edges, that is experience, perspective, and connections, even older job seekers have a reasonable shot of getting a base hit, maybe even hitting a home run. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.